New at 10, the family of a woman allegedly shot and killed by an off-duty Huntsville police officer has been identified as 26-year-old Courtney Spraggins. There she is. Spraggins was a mother to two, her family says. The family also says she was 7 months pregnant with a baby girl and in a relationship with that officer who knew she was expecting. Her sister sent us this statement saying in part, quote, "I missed your laughter and your smile. We were total opposites, but we had a bond like no other. I miss you. It's not fair. You had to leave. Your life was robbed, and there will be justice for you," end quote. Sources confirmed to Way 31 the officer, 28-year-old David Mccoy, shot Spraggins in the head while she was inside a parked vehicle. It happened at the Weston Ranch apartment complex off Lawson's Ridge Drive on Friday morning. Those sources also revealed he called the police himself about the shooting, claiming the victim shot herself. And tonight, people who live in that apartment complex are recalling what they witnessed. Way 31's Olivia Schuler has their reaction.
Brittany, those I spoke to are now questioning why the Huntsville police officer, now placed on administrative leave, was booked into the Madison County Jail just before midnight on Friday. That's 13 hours after the alleged crime.
They hid it well for sure.
It seemed like nothing happened. It's on the one.
Allison Wright has lived at the Weston Ranch apartment complex for years, and she says she frequently saw Mccoy and his police cruiser parked outside one of these units.
I mean, the neighborhood is not the same as 5 years when I moved in here.
Now she and other neighbors are feeling unsettled and shocked over what happened.
My sister was calling me to make sure I'm okay and make sure I'm safe.
Mccoy was also a courtesy officer in the apartment complex, many knowing exactly who he was.
He was cool though, for sure.
Cameron Boards recalled an interaction he had with the officer just months ago. After Boards' car broke down, he says the Huntsville police officer offered help.
When he was like, "Hey, you need some help?" I said, "Yeah." He just pushed me to help me push back there, put it in the park, and that was it.
Neighbors are now trying to piece together how a police officer is now being charged with murder. Sources confirm the victim was in a relationship with Mccoy. Those sources also saying she was pregnant.
He would walk with this girl.
Multiple calls dispatched from Mccoy claimed the woman committed suicide while sitting in her car. Huntsville police responded to the scene. The Alabama law enforcement agency is now leading the investigation.
And if the police are like this, I would have no one out here to trust.
Mccoy is being held here at the Madison County Jail without bond. Courtney Spraggins, the victim, is scheduled for an autopsy on Monday. Reporting in Huntsville, Olivia Schuler, Way 31 News.
Thanks, Olivia. The Spraggins family has organized a Gofundme for funeral costs. There it is right there. It has already reached, over $600 of a $15,000 goal. One man was injured in a shooting in Florence today. Police say it happened in the 3500 block of Huntsville Road around 5 this evening. The man was taken to the hospital where he was treated and released. It's unclear what led up to that shooting. Police say this is an ongoing investigation at this time. Well, Rob, it was really sunny today, but we know that changes are on the way. Way 31 meteorologist Rob Elvington is tracking the potential for some rain on your Sunday. Rob?
Yeah, and we're only just hours away from some of those first showers and thunderstorms moving in here overnight through the day tomorrow. Now, if you step outside right now, the first thing you'll notice how much warmer it is right now compared to 24 hours ago. Muscle Shoals, you were sitting at 26 degrees at this time yesterday, so nearly 30 degrees warmer. You'll notice most spots, though, still in the upper 40s to low to mid 50s. And speaking of Muscle Shoals, 54 degrees, but it's also windy. If you stepped outside, you'll also notice those gusty south-southeast winds at 28 miles per hour, bringing in that warmer air and some of that moisture from out of the Gulf of Mexico. Again, right now we are dry on the Way 31 Storm Tracker early warning radar network, but look off to the west and northwest. Over the last hour, you'll notice those showers and storms getting a little bit closer, but again, still a few hours away from some of that rain moving in, but it will be here by the time you wake up by tomorrow morning. Rain chances close to 100% by lunchtime, all the way through the first half of the afternoon. And then they will start to drop off, though, by the second half of the afternoon into the evening. And some of that will be in the form of thunderstorms. Thankfully, we're not expecting strong to severe thunderstorms, but any thunderstorms can still be dangerous with the lightning and some gusty winds. And we're also tracking a high risk for heavy rain. So that comes with some flood risk for your Sunday, considering all the precipitation we've picked up over the last 7 to 8 days. There is a look at that next weather maker moving in overnight tonight into your Sunday morning. We'll talk more about this coming up.
Right now, Alabama's 7-day positive COVID test rate is staying at just over 40%. That means 4 out of 10 tests taken come back positive. The rate has not moved since yesterday, but it increased every day in the past week. The state added more than 7,000 cases in the past 24 hours. It also added 4 COVID deaths. They all came from Mobile County. New information from the CDC. They say if a hospital staff worker tests positive for COVID-19, they are able to work in the hospital treating other COVID-19 positive patients. Right now, Huntsville Hospital staffing is not at a crisis point, although hospital president Tracy Doty says if the hospital gets to an emergency state and is understaffed, they have to put protecting the community at the forefront.
There's an algorithm out there, but we're not doing that at our hospital at this point. We have enough people and enough reserve to do other things.
Doty calling Huntsville hospital staff resilient. Right now, he says the surge in hospitalizations is taxing on hospital staff, but many are working additional days and hours to take care of patients. Right now, 1 in 5 Americans is testing positive for COVID-19, and more than 800,000 have died from the virus. ABC's Karina Mitchell has more on what the hardest hit states are doing to battle the Omicron variant.
As the Omicron variant continues to spread, hospitals are overwhelmed. In New York State, elective surgeries at more than 36 hospitals are temporarily on hold because of low bed capacity.
The real issue right now is volume, as the amount of patients that are coming in associated with the COVID-19 and its Omicron variant are simply depleting hospital resources, staff, and bringing the hospital to a capacity that is not sustainable.
New Hampshire hospitals are also feeling the effects. This video diary gives an inside look at an intensive care unit.
We got to wake up, America. All the work that we're doing here and all the care that we're doing, the vast majority of it is preventable.
Earlier in the week, the state's governor deploying members of the National Guard to provide support to hospitals and long-term care facilities. Also sending in the National Guard, California. Governor Gavin Newsom activating more than 200 members to help with staffing and crowd control at testing sites. It comes as hospitalizations rise for children under 4 who aren't yet eligible to get the shot. They account for more than 4% of all COVID hospitalizations. And a new CDC-led study finds an increased risk of diabetes for children who become infected with the virus, as the FDA authorizes Moderna's booster shots to be administered 5 months after completing the original 2 doses instead of 6. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Right now, there are 47 pediatric COVID inpatients in Alabama. And starting on Monday, children ages 12 to 15 can get a booster shot at John Hunt Park. A parent or guardian must be with them, and you do need to make an appointment beforehand. That's done online. We have a link for you on WadeTV.com. If you'd like to get vaccinated, you can in Colbert County next week. The Helen Keller Hospital Well Care Center runs vaccine clinics every Monday and Wednesday from noon to 5. Staff will administer first, second, and booster Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Walk-ins are welcome. Chronic wasting disease has been found in deer in North Alabama. The state reported its first case in Lauderdale County. The disease can be deadly. Experts say it affects a deer's brain to the point where they can't function. A manager at Weaver Meat Processing says this could be a big issue for deer hunters.
If this chronic wasting disease goes rampant, that means there's lots of deer dying all over the place, which means there's less deer for hunters to harvest.
Lauderdale and Colbert County are now considered a CWD management zone. The James Webb Space Telescope is finally fully deployed. How NASA overcame one of the telescope's biggest hurdles.
And overnight tonight, we are tracking our next weather maker moving in, and that will include the chance for thunderstorms, and that threat will continue through most of the day tomorrow. So plan on the wet conditions if you're heading out to church tomorrow morning, and it's going to still be around as you head home from church. We'll have the latest coming up.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching Wade 31 News with Brittany Harry. Weather with Ashley Carter. Sports with Max Cohan. And the Wade 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
New at 10, 14 days after launching, the world's most complex space observatory has already overcome some of its greatest challenges. The James Webb Space Telescope successfully completed the unfolding of its giant gold mirror today. Its size created a unique problem: it couldn't fit inside the rocket. Engineers designed the telescope as a series of moving parts that can fold origami style and fit inside a 16-foot space for launch.
We've had a number of challenges. If you, of course, look at everything that, go backwards, anything with the deployments, some of the challenges, frankly, that the team immediately addressed, they made it look easy, even though some of these challenges, frankly, were tough.
The telescope will spend the next 2 weeks traveling to reach its intended orbit 1 million miles from Earth. It will begin to collect data in its first images later this year. New information: the former head of Kazakhstan's National Security Committee and other officials are being detained on suspicion of treason. That's according to state media. It comes after the country's president said he offered security forces to, quote, kill without warning to crush violent protests that reportedly left dozens dead. The unrest began earlier this week as protests against rising fuel prices. And while tensions simmered there, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization turned their focus to Russia's troops build up along the Ukraine border. They met virtually ahead of U.S. and Russia talks that are expected to begin next week. NATO Secretary General says it's a good sign that they agreed to meet.
It is a positive signal that Russia is now prepared to come to the table and talk. Because when tensions are high, dialogue is even more important.
NATO plans to hold a special meeting with Russia officials on Wednesday. And as the Northeast still dealing with the remains of a major snowstorm, others in the Northwest are dealing with devastated flooding. The drone video shows this conditions here in Centralia, Washington. Flood and gale warnings are in place across many coastal areas in the Pacific Northwest, while winter storm warnings still remain for the eastern U.S., according to the National Weather Service.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Rob Elvington and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
And we were finally able to warm up here today with some sunshine, but we are back in an active pattern tomorrow with heavy rain and thunderstorms moving in. But right now we are dry throughout North Alabama. Beautiful view looking off to the west. That, of course, is our Decatur Radar, which makes up part of the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. And just above it, a nice view of that waxing crescent moon here this Saturday evening. 48 degrees right now in Decatur, so about 20 degrees warmer than this hour yesterday, and that's thanks to some of that warmer air moving in and also those gusty southeast winds at about 13 miles per hour. And we're going to continue to see some pretty gusty conditions here through the overnight hours and through the day on Sunday. Gusts up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour all the way through tomorrow morning. And then as that stronger part of the cold front moves in, we could be tracking some gusts closer to 35 miles per hour. So it's going to be pretty windy with some of that heavy rain and thunderstorms moving in. But again, we are dry right now, but already starting to see some of that rain just off to our northwest. We'll continue to see the radar filling in through the overnight hours and into your Sunday morning. And we've got some pretty high rain chances for North Alabama for the day tomorrow. 7 a.m., already an 80% chance, but it will be much warmer. Look at the temperature, 51 degrees right around sunrise. And we'll make it up to the mid to upper 50s by the middle of the afternoon tomorrow ahead of the cold front. And again, some of this will be in the form of thunderstorms, dropping some pretty heavy rainfall. How about the severe weather outlook? This was issued earlier this afternoon, and you'll notice the yellow on the map. That is a 1 out of 5 severe risk, and it does end off to our south. So it was moved a little bit further north earlier today, but again, still well off to our south. But we'll need to monitor those thunderstorms closely through the day tomorrow. So look at future radar. This is 8 o'clock for your Sunday morning. Just seeing some of those passing showers, maybe a few thunderstorms moving in, but look at all that heavy rain. You get into some of these oranges and reds. That's indicating some pretty heavy rainfall. It's going to make for some difficult driving conditions if you're heading home from church. And we're just going to continue to see all that moving through. Again, some very heavy rainfall with some of those reds moving right through Sand Mountain. But pretty much wrapping up this event close to about sunset for your Sunday evening. A few lingering showers, but pretty much dry throughout North Alabama by 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Cooler, drier air moving in, and it will be much cooler for your Monday. But again, sunny skies as we kick off a new work week. This is the rainfall forecast, and keep in mind this is for about a 12-hour window tomorrow. So we're talking 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Again, a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So that brings some flooding risk here to North Alabama. Right now we are in a 1 out of 4 risk for flash flooding tomorrow, but some of those streams and creeks, places like, let's say, the Paint Rock River, those could go into minor flood stage with all that runoff, considering we are already saturated. So something we'll also be keeping a close eye on through the day on Sunday. There's a look at your Sunday forecast again. After the cold front moves through tomorrow, we're back down to the upper 20s by Monday morning. Not too concerned about black ice. It's going to come in well after the rain and just not cold enough to see that black ice set up. 45 for a high on Monday, and we'll slowly rebound back to the low 50s by Wednesday, mid 50s by Thursday, but we're also seeing the return of rain chances by the end of next work week. Brittany?
A eulogy for former Senate Majority Leader, how Harry Reid was remembered today. The Hartselle Police Department is raising pay for new officers and officers that transferred in. Here are the new rates for certified officers. The raises include incentives for shift differential, special assignments, and instructors. There they are. The city of Hartselle is looking for certified officers right now. You can find an application on the city's website or in person at City Hall. And if you're looking for work in Sand Mountain, the city of Guntersville is hiring too. They are looking for detention and booking officers. Hourly pay ranges from about $13.50 to $20 an hour. Responsibilities include maintaining the security of the city's jail and the welfare of inmates. And former President Barack Obama paid tribute to the late Harry Reid, the senator who helped convince him to run for president. Obama was joined by President Joe Biden and other top Democratic leaders to eulogy the former Senate Majority Leader who died December 28th. During the memorial service in Las Vegas, Obama praised Senator Reid's leadership and loyalty.
You wanted Harry in the foxhole with you. His willingness to fight by my side, to stick with me even when things weren't going our way.
The former president went on to call the former Senate Majority Leader his true and loyal friend. Reid is considered to have been the most influential politician in Nevada state history. And if you like classic TV shows, you'll love our new channel. Way 31.5 will be the new home for the Heroes and Icons TV network. The lineup includes detective shows, westerns, and multiple Star Trek series, including the original run and the Next Generation. If you watch TV over the air, you'll need to rescan for channels to pick up the new network. Programming on H9 begins Monday at noon. Anticipation is growing over the college football championship. The latest on the big game coming up next in sports.
And now, sports coverage you can count on with a Way 31 sports team.
Hello and welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana, as our Way 31 National Championship coverage continues. Nolan Knight here alongside Max Cohan. Max, we're just 2 days away now from the National Championship game taking place, and today both the Bulldogs and the Crimson Tide had their media day.
That's right, and these two teams look pretty different than the last time we saw them on the field together. That was December 4th for the SEC Championship game, and as you might remember, Alabama lost a huge piece of its offense as wide receiver John Mechie was knocked out for the season.
People have stepped up, in games, second half. SEC Championship and in the Cincinnati game, people stepped up and, are going to continue to do that and practice the same thing. So, it's not something you can replace. Someone like Mechie and someone you can just plug someone else in and get the same from. So it definitely hurt. But, at the same time, again, it creates opportunities for others. And I have tremendous confidence in everyone, at the position.
For the Bulldogs, you have to expect them to have a new game plan and sense of urgency against this Alabama team as they try to win their first national championship since 1980.
Yeah, but saying that is much easier than doing it, as no matter how hard they might try, catching Bryce Young is nearly impossible, and the Georgia defense has even coined a nickname for him, the Gingerbread Man.
Bryce is an extremely talented athlete. He's slippery, and I forgot, we was watching, I think it was Hard Knocks with the Colts, and they was talking about the Gingerbread Man and how Kyler Murray was kind of like running around like the Gingerbread Man. So that's what we've been calling him all week. Just seeing him run around our defense on the SEC Championship game, it's kind of like you have to tighten up.
How about we talk some college hoops? The 15th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide back in action today against Missouri following that win against Florida earlier in the week. Picked this one up in the first half. Bama trailing, but they get some momentum. A nice feed from Javon Quinterly to Jawan Gary for the basket and the foul. But in the second half, Mizzou would catch fire. It's a lob to Trayvon Brazil. He throws it down, the alley-oop jam there. And then the nail in the coffin in the final minute. A steal for the Tigers. It's DeJuan Gordon who closes the door on the Tide. And how about Huntsville native Kobe Brown, who finished with 30 tonight. The Lee alum showing out for the Missouri Tigers, adding 13 boards as the Tide fall on the road, 92-86. Also in action tonight, the 9th-ranked Auburn Tigers hit the floor looking for win number 11 on the season, taking on Florida at home, and the Tigers get that 11th straight win. They improve to 14-1 on the year. It's one of their best starts ever. Next up for the Tigers, a trip to Tuscaloosa to take on the Tide. All right, let's wrap up things here from Indy. A reminder, tomorrow at 5 p.m., our Way 31 National Championship Special kicks off.
Yeah, you're going to hear from the players. You're going to hear from the coaches. You're going to see the big moments from this season. Everything you're going to need to know before the game kicks off on Monday, that's where you're going to find it.
Yeah, you won't want to miss it. Again, 5 p.m. right here on Way 31. All right, well, wrapping things up here in the Circle City. For Max Cohan, I'm Nolan Knight, Way 31 Sports.
And the good thing is, right around 5 o'clock tomorrow, as you can watch that coverage, we'll be wrapping up tomorrow's storm system. And of course, we're still waiting for it right now, but that rain will be moving in here in the overnight hours. Some of this tomorrow will be in the form of thunderstorms. We're not expecting severe storms for tomorrow, but look at all that heavy rain moving in through the late morning hours and into your Sunday afternoon. A little concerned about some flooding issues, especially for some of those areas that typically see flooding with some of the creeks, streams, and rivers. Again, that will be moving through all the way through the late afternoon hours. We'll see that threat to really start to drop off closer to tomorrow evening. And then we cool back off behind the cold front heading into your Monday.
All right, and for 24/7 coverage you can count on for local news, breaking news, and severe weather. We're here for you all the time at waytv.com, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for that special at 5. Have a great night.